Have you ever had that feeling, that sense of deja vu, or that weird feeling that maybe, just maybe, everything is happening exactly as it's supposed to? It's one of the biggest questions we've ever asked ourselves. Is our future already written? Today, we're going to dive deep into that, looking at everything from ancient philosophy to some seriously mind-bending physics to try and figure it out. Are we the ones writing our own story, or are we just turning the pages? I mean, really think about it. The last big decision you made. Heck, even the tiny decision about what to watch tonight. Did you really choose it, or was that outcome somehow locked in from the very beginning of the universe? That's the rabbit hole we're going down today. So, to get to the bottom of this, we really have to start with the two heavyweights in this cosmic debate. The idea of an unchangeable fixed destiny versus the power of our very own free will. Okay, so on one side, you've got determinism. The basic idea here is that the universe is like this giant, incredibly complex machine. Every single thing that happens, from a star exploding millions of light years away to you deciding to grab a coffee, is just the inevitable result of what came right before it, like dominoes falling. But on the other side, you have free will. This is the belief that no, we're not just cogs in a machine. We are the authors of our actions, and we can make genuine choices that aren't already set in stone. So which is it? Are we just along for the ride, or are we the ones steering the ship? The philosopher Baruch Spinoza had a fascinating take on this from the determinist camp. What he's basically saying here is, we feel like we're free because, yeah, we know what we want, but we have absolutely no clue about the deep, hidden causes that made us want those things to begin with. It's an illusion of freedom. But then, you've got someone like Jean-Paul Sartre who comes along and argues the complete opposite. For him, we are nothing but our choices. Our decisions don't just shape what happens next, they literally define who we are and create all the meaning in our lives. It's all on us. Now, this whole debate used to just be for philosophers, but then in the last century, modern physics decided to crash the party, and it completely blew up our everyday understanding of what time even is. Yeah, thanks to Einstein, we know for a fact that time isn't some steady, universal clock taking the same for everyone. It's relative. The faster you move, or the more intense the gravity around you, the slower time actually passes for you. This isn't a theory, it's proven physics. And it tells us that our simple perception of time, well, it's just scratching the surface of a much, much weirder reality. And this leads us to an absolutely wild idea called the block universe. So picture this. Time doesn't flow like a river. Instead, it exists all at once as a solid block. Your birth, this exact moment you're listening to this, and your very last day, they all coexist, permanently etched into space-time. We're just moving through it, experiencing one single slice at a time, the slice we call now. And just when you thought it couldn't get any stranger, brilliant minds like Stephen Hawking even theorized about things called closed time-like curves. You can basically think of them as loops in the fabric of space-time that could, theoretically, allow you to travel into the past. But of course, if you could do that, you'd run into some pretty big problems. And that brings us perfectly to our next section, the paradoxes. Now, these aren't just fun little brain teasers for science fiction stories. They're serious logical puzzles that really make you question if changing the past is even possible. All right, first up is the most famous one of all, the one everybody knows, the grandfather paradox. The logic here just ties itself in a knot. You go back in time, you prevent your grandparents from ever meeting, which means you were never born. But if you were never born, then who went back in time to stop them in the first place? It's a complete contradiction, which suggests maybe, just maybe, the past can't be changed. Okay, next we have the causal loop, sometimes called the bootstrap paradox. This one isn't so much about a contradiction, it's more about a riddle that has no answer, an information mystery. So where did the information, the plans for the time machine, actually come from? It just exists in this closed loop with no clear origin point. The notebook basically created itself, which just completely breaks how we think about cause and effect. And that leads us to our final paradox, the predestination paradox. And this one leans really heavily into that idea that the future is already set in stone, and there's absolutely nothing we can do about it. This one is a real mind bender. Your attempt to go back and change history was always part of history. You don't break the timeline, you actually become a crucial piece of it, fulfilling destiny. Your free will to change things was just another step in the script that was already written. So, okay, After all this physics, all these theories and paradoxes, we have to land on the most important question of all. Why does any of this even matter to us living our lives right here, right now? No, really, let's just sit with that for a moment. If every single one of our triumphs, our heartbreaks, every choice we make is already laid out for us, what does that do to how we live our lives? The consequences are just massive. If our actions are already determined, can we really hold people accountable for what they do? Does it even make sense to feel guilty or to praise someone for an accomplishment they were always going to have? And does knowing your path is set make life feel like a prison? Or could it actually give everything a deeper cosmic purpose? And yet, here's the thing. Maybe the ultimate cosmic answer doesn't matter as much as our simple human reality. Because whether the universe is one big set of dominoes or not, we experience our lives as if our choices are real and deeply meaningful. The very act of choosing, of trying, of taking responsibility, that's the world we actually live in, and that is what shapes us. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Even if the story of your life is already written down in some great cosmic book, you're still the one living it. You're still the one turning the pages, moment by moment. The only real question left is, does that make you the author, or just its most captivated reader?
Don't forget to subscribe.